Welcome to the Purple Corner podcast. Today I'm talking to actor Sonu Anand, who is also dialogue coach. Um, and he's worked with multiple production houses across many roles, some which I didn't even know existed, like the dialect coach. So welcome to the channel.
Uh, Thank you. And I'm really glad that you called me. And I hope that we can talk about some dialogue and acting and other things. So, really excited.
Yeah. So the story of how I wanted to talk to him is interesting. I was watching I watched Laapata Ladies, I think in the second week of release.
Hmm.
भाग भाग के मैंने फिल्म देखी, मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी. एंड देन फुल डे मैं और मेरी दोस्त जो साथ में गए थे, वी वर थिंकिंग कि the language of the film was so amazing. It was so beautiful to sound, and there was like this jolly, peppy vibe that it had, which kind of carried the film. And for the whole day, I was obsessed with finding the dialect. I called it Hindi because I didn't know better. But I kept thinking, what is that word for fool? The English fool, FOOL, that was used in the film. And I was obsessed with it. And I don't know why. And I think in a miracle that can only happen in Warsaw. I was talking about this to a friend, SG actually, and we were at Warsaw Beach, and Sonu walks up and he's like, "ले, लापता लेडीज के dialect coach से ही बात कर ले कि ये क्या है word." And the word was budbak, and that's when I realized. I mean, I was just talking to him. We had a quick chat for 2 minutes at that time. I had to rush somewhere. और I asked him like what is that word? He's like, oh वो तो बुड़बक बहुत common है. एंड मे बी बहुत लोगों के लिए कॉमन होगा. मैंने उसके बाद बहुत लोगों से बात की लाइक हाँ हमको बचपन में बहुत बुलाते थे मम्मी पापा, पर मेरे लिए नहीं था. That's also when I got very intrigued that even today, or I don't know, possibly this was a like a switch unlocked, that there are we have so much work goes on a script to get the correct flavor, the regional flavor, or the geographical flavor. Regional is a bad choice of word, but the geographical flavor in. So first, how did such a is this something you've done many times in the past? And what is there, like, I don't know, say how does one get to apply for or be, or even choose to say, okay, let me think about being a dialect coach or help with the dialect of a particular film and how it's set?
Personally, how anyone can think of being a dialect coach if I have to think about it. I personally think no one sets out to be a
Yeah,
dialect
exactly.
or a dialogue coach in that matter. The thing is, how it started for me, I can tell you. So, I used to do theater. I started with Ekjut Theatre Group. Nadira Babaji, she runs the group. So, I had started doing theater there while I was doing my graduation, then mass communication. And what in theater, you read a lot of plays, they get after you for your pronunciations, uh, proper diction for Urdu, Hindi. So my diction was terrible to start with. I I was so embarrassed that I did not even take up any role for the first 6 months. I would just avoid, figure out, do backstage, and I'll be like,
Wow.
once Nabiraji told me that if this role you try, it was some uh, servant का role था in Romeo and Juliet. I was like, no, I am not ready. And she's like, when will you be ready? And but then it stuck to me so much that I wanted to be good at my pronunciations in Hindi and Urdu. So I started working on that. And somewhere I got better. And after a point in time, it was very difficult to decipher where I came in from. This accent pata nahi chalta.
Ah.
So then I would say, okay, I'm from Jharkhand, Zariba, uh, near Ranchi. And what happened with me was there was this person in the group. she's also a director. She needed someone to give cues in a film
Hmm.
called Bomberia. Radhika Apte was acting it, and Amit Sial and Priya Sukanya was directing. So they wanted someone to give cues. So I went there as a dialogue guy who gives cues. And then I became a dialogue supervisor on that. And then I got into everything in that project. So my first project was Bombay, and I did like was part of the casting thing also, was part with the post production also.
Oh wow.
So
That was your film school.
yeah, and I learned a lot there. And then I started getting those dialogue supervisor things. I did 24 season 2,
Oh.
uh, and I was also in Hungary, where I worked with Nasir sir for the first time. So to be a dialogue coach or a dialect coach, I think you do theater, you get better at it, and when someone needs some help, they'll ask you, and then the production houses will start following.
So it's always like something of an afterthought or something you do along the way.
Yeah.
But so speaking of Laapata Ladies, like how do you land that project? One. And second is we've spoken in conversation before that it's a mix of a couple of, dialects from a couple of regions. How did you choose key which, the right word, the right grammar, the right syntax, everything that makes up a language. One is that. And second, abhi only I'll ask because it probably parallelly chalega, the answer, is the actual translation. The script was written and then did you translate line by line? Were you there on set? What is that? What does the like physical process look like?
Okay. So first, how did I land that role? So as I told you, I worked in Hungary, and in Hungary, Naveed Faruqi and Tanaji,
Hmm.
they were both there.
Okay.
Tanaji was the writer and producer, and Naveed Faruqi was the executive producer. So they must be talking. They were in this project, Laapata Ladies, and they were looking for a dialect coach. And they knew that, okay, I run this theater group, and young actors work with me. So we keep posting that on social media. So maybe do that. So Tanaji called me and said that we're doing this dialect, which is a fictional place, but it will be basically North Indian,
Got it.
UP, Bihar, and everything mixed. But we figure out some streamline. So I was like, oh, uh, maybe this person can do it, this person can do it, that person can do it. So that's how I react. I always run away from work. So, so he said, "Hey, I want you to do it."
Okay.
I said, "Oh, okay, I can try, but I don't know if I'm so good at that accent because I did a lot of effort to get rid of it." So he sent me a scene, and he said, "Just record it and send it." So I recorded it and sent it.
Like vocally.
Yeah,
Okay.
audio. I saw the scene, and I thought it would be honest if I did not prepare for it because I would need to do a lot of work there. So if I prepare for it, then you know how you should be able to do some work subconsciously.
Yeah.
Then it should be there. Like for example, after doing like acting for 10, 15 years, a lot of process is inside, right?
Yeah.
You don't have
Automated.
to,
Like
yeah,
personally automated.
yeah,
Automated.
so that had to be there. I couldn't call up people and say like, कि, इसका क्या है, उसका क्या है,
Yes.
and then give them a.
Correct.
So I saw the scene and I just read it for the first time, and I put record and I sent it.
Which scene was that? Is it there in the film?
It's there.
Which one? If you can share.
I don't remember it.
Oh, that's
I
fine.
don't remember. Maybe that Jaya is talking to Deepak or something. That or the other guy.
Gunjan.
पोस्टर बनाने वाला.
Gunjan.
Yeah,
हाँ,
yeah,
Gunjan.
yeah. पोस्टर बना दीजिएगा. वो.
हाँ, correct, correct.
So maybe that scene it was, and I sent it, and they liked it, And next step, I had to meet Kiran ma'am and Amir sir, and I met them. And there was this session with Jaya Pratibha. She's amazing in the film.
She's so good.
Yes. And there, my perspective was. And finally, they kind of liked, we had a session, 4 or 5 hour session, and we worked. Amir sir was there, Kiran ma'am was there, and Pratibha was there. And we worked on those lines and
Line.
all, and I would give feedback, and I would say it could be this, it could be that. So maybe they liked my perspective, and they said okay. And my next meeting with Kiran ma'am, she said, "It is you who will be responsible for keeping it intact with the actors and everything, and I want you to be clear that it should not be a very botched job or something like that.
Got it.
वैसा नहीं होना चाहिए. It has to be perfect." So I was like, okay. And I was clear that I was been given a responsibility and I had to do it properly. And you know how it happens many times, directors will not give you autonomy in your department. But with ma'am, the great thing was that she saw everything and let everyone give in their best and their ideas
Nice.
and make people responsible for their work.
That's pretty cool.
That is why the film is working so much right now.
Yeah, I think it's still in the
It
theaters.
is still in
Some sixth
it's
week
been
must be, fourth,
yeah,
fifth week. I'm not sure, not kept track, but
sixth
sixth
week.
week, yeah.
And I really like that thing where directors give the actors the responsibility to take on the characters and not spoon feed everything. If they have a clear idea of what they want to do with the film and they want pure collaboration.
Correct.
So it was a collaboration and one of the most satisfying.
How cool. So were you sitting with the actors every day?
We did a workshop for 1.5 months.
Oh,
All
wow.
the actors. Like 5 sessions with this actor, 5 sessions with that actor.
Got it.
That ways. And many of them were from North India, many were not. So, but even people who were from North India, we had to make sure that no, it's not what you speak in your city or your state. It's here,
Yeah.
Nirmal Pradesh. It's
Correct.
not Bihar. It's not UP. What it is, it's
Nirmal
Nirmal Pradesh.
Pradesh.
That's the state in the script. So there were a lot of discussions with the actors also. They would also
Oh,
say कि ये तो नहीं बोलते हैं और
अच्छा.
ये भोजपुरी नहीं है, ये फलाना नहीं है, चिलाना नहीं है. So we'd say कि okay, uh, I had sat with Kiran ma'am. So Biplab Goswami did the dialogue from normal dialogues that maybe Sneha ma'am had written to this Bhojpuri or whatever language we have.
Yeah.
Got it.
Nirmal language.
Nirmal language. So Nirmal language. And then Kiran ma'am and Tanaji sat one day, and the language that we intended to follow through in the entire film, that we worked on for
Wow.
a few days. I guess you can't go through a whole script in one day. So it was a few days, and we locked it
So like a line by line
line by
translation.
line. Basically, however we wanted to speak. So everybody had to speak in a certain manner, and Jaya would speak in her own manner because she's
Outsider.
educated and she's an outsider from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So if you notice, Jaya has a different
Yeah.
dialect,
Yeah.
and somebody complained about it too.
Mm.
I don't know. Somebody said that how is uh, like in the same family, people are different accent or something like
But
that.
it makes sense.
It makes sense if you go like we went so deep that we thought that Jaya could have a different
Yeah, she was reading books and studying. So, you know, you
her
change.
language would be a little different, and then slowly she turned into like initially we had her a little because she's pretending to be someone else. So
Correct. Different.
it was a crazy thing. It I had brain fog thinking about Jaya's and her dialect because see how complicated it is if you
Yeah.
start doing so much detailing.
But only then the flavor really comes out. And matlab, I don't know if anyone else is as obsessed with words as I am.
Mm.
But one thing is, you mentioned how that होता था debate, discussion on words.
Wait.
So if you can give examples, maybe words या कुछ याद होगा on you know कि you wanted it a certain way and it didn't go, or maybe आपको चाहिए था कि यही word retain हो and you fought for it and that did stay that way. Word, phrase, scene, whatever. Like, you know.
See, we shot the film in 2021, I guess,
Yeah, it's been a while. True,
or
that's true.
22, and I I try and remember the present. So
Should get you to pull up the original notes. Wait.
yeah, I should have that script.
You have it?
No, I don't. I did not bring it. I should have.
Yeah, we'll shoot a part of it.
Yeah. So basically, a few words here and there, the actors would say that in my place, because many of them were from Bihar or UP, it's not spoken like this or like that. Or even for with me, the thing is, I am quite open in terms of a light guy or a security guy would come up to me and say, okay, so ये ऐसा बोल रहे हैं, ये ऐसा नहीं होता है, वैसा होता है. And I have think about it. Okay, do I need that in here? Hmm.
Got it.
Or there was a lot of thought for thank you in the end when Jaya says धन्यवाद.
हाँ.
So we wanted it to be thank you. Um, but then we decided on I guess धन्यवाद ही बोला है उसने.
हाँ. मुझे उतना नहीं याद है, देखनी पड़ेगी वापस.
तो उस पे बहुत डिस्कशन हुआ था कि हम वो यूज करें क्या थैंक यू. वो इंस्पेक्टर को बोल रही है थैंक यू इंस्पेक्टर साहब.
मुझे वो याद
या
है.
धन्यवाद इंस्पेक्टर. वो धन्यवाद बोलती है.
हाँ,
तो बहुत
हाँ.
irritate हुआ था. और मैं भी बैक एंड लाइक आई एम सो involved in terms of that I'll keep thinking about it even during it is happening, and I will change my thought. Maybe this is like it's like through watching a lot of cinema
Correct.
and in life as well, observing people and being an actor. So I always see it as a co-actor, and I try and observe the dialogue. Is it making sense or is it feeling right? That instinct. I go by my instinct, and usually everywhere it goes on right.
Clearly.
Yeah. And if sometimes if there are few things that you may not like, um, forgive me because it's a lot of things. Sometimes the actor might not be in that zone of acting, तो वो कभी उसके performance को छोड़ना है कि dialogue छोड़ना है. So the
हाँ.
first thing we do is if a actor sometimes is struggling with, sometimes new actors also come. So we try and because it's a little bugging thing कि आपको लाइन भी याद करना है, आपको अपने ब्लॉकिंग भी पता होना चाहिए कि यहाँ से यहाँ जाना है, ये करना है, ये करना है. और माइन्यूट डिटेल्स जो डायरेक्टर कह रहे हैं परफॉर्मेंस के लिए. एंड एक और इंसान है जो कि डायलेक्ट कोच है, वो आके आपको बोल रहा है नहीं यहाँ पे कहना नहीं कहना है. So I'm sure a lot of people would be hating me. All these actors we have always worked with, many of them would be annoyed. Uh, so, but that's okay. That's my job to annoy. Because I remember when I am acting, this someone comes up and says, you know the lines. Should we rehearse? Like I get a little annoyed because maybe I'm in my zone. I'm trying to, it's not just about the lines. Acting is many times about that emotion
Yeah.
to reach there. But then there are five layers. Some a sound recordist is coming and telling you कि this यहाँ clear नहीं हुआ. डायलॉग कोच आके बोल रहा है कि ये साफ बोल दो. ये वर्ड क्लियर नहीं हो रहा है ये नहीं है. 50 चीजें होती हैं.
हाँ.
So I am always with the actor. I apologize.
We know the tribe he has chosen. You said two, three things. मुझे दो तीन सवाल आ गए दिमाग में. Immediately two things. One is observing.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to language for it. I'm sure it applies to creative, creative process at large. But observation का एक पॉइंट है और दूसरा है कि एक्टर का इमोशन जो आप बता रहे थे वो बहुत ही रेजोनेट करता है मेरे साथ बिकॉज आई हैव एग्जैक्टली थॉट ऑफ दिस. The point on observation is that you've been in Mumbai. You said you worked very hard to let go of these dialect, that accent, not the dialect, but the accent, etc. And then, now to reconnect with it, to write in that language or to feel and kind of, translate into that language. Not just this, but any language. How do you keep in touch with its sound, with its emotion? How I don't know about you specifically, but general urban areas में languages are mostly homogenized. जो जहाँ से आता है वो थोड़ा छूट ही जाता है वो dialect, वो words, वो even the layer of saying that word. So one is वो do you have any active process जैसे आप टच में रहते हैं लैंग्वेजेस के या उस भाषा के एसेंस को यू हाउ डू यू मेंटेन इट इफ एट ऑल देयर इज अ प्रोसेस. आई थिंक इट्स अ लॉन्ग इनफ क्वेश्चन. दूसरा मैं बाद में पूछती हूँ.
See, wherever you stay, वहाँ का एक लहजा तो आ ही जाता है.
हाँ.
कि when I was in my hometown, I used to say hum,
हाँ.
and in Bombay, in 6 months, I started saying that because I did not want to be seen as an outsider. You
Correct.
want to
Yeah, blend in.
blend in. So वो तो अपने आप धीरे धीरे हट जाता है.
जी.
और I would rather blend in
Yeah.
than not. But there are a lot of people who keep that intact.
Yeah.
And when you meet them, you observe it. And I would say that how do I keep in touch with the language? I do not. Because if there's something that you've been through for 20 years or 18 years, childhood, it's already there. It will never go. Though I had help, I had two people that I would reach out to, Gokul Kanodia and Ashutosh Singh. These are two people, and I sat with them once I had the script, and before my meeting with Kiran ma'am and Tanaji for the whole sequence की क्या क्या change करना है क्या sequence में लाना है तो उसके लिए I sat with them and asked for options. What could be said here? What could be said here? Because I am very open to taking help from people for any work, all work. If I am trying to prepare a role, I would ask someone if I feel that they could be someone who has done workshop with me or worked under me. For I do not distinguish it like that because you can learn from any.
Yeah.
You can learn from your seniors, you can learn from your juniors. So I always keep that in mind. And once you are at the receiving end, you observe and take it in what they are saying. तो वो पर्सपेक्टिव इतना ओपन है कि आज अगर आप मुझे कहेंगे कि हरियाणा का डायलेक्ट करना है तो वो भी कर सकता हूँ. Basically, I am good with dialogues. So I would get a few people, sit with them, and I'll lock that script.
Got it.
And while conversing with them, I would get कि अच्छा ये है,
हाँ
क्योंकि ज्यादा कुछ नहीं होता, क्योंकि हिंदी में ही
हाँ
इनकॉर्पोरेट करना है ना,
हाँ
कोई ऐसा कुछ नया लैंग्वेज तो बोलना नहीं है।
हाँ
जैसे पंजाबी का भी डायलेक्ट अगर हम हिंदी में ले रहे हैं,
हाँ
तो हमको हिंदी में ही पंजाबी बोलना,
हाँ
तो उसमें एक एक सेंटेंस में कितने वेरिएशंस होंगे,
करेक्ट
वो आपको कैच करना है।
हाँ
आप बात करके ऑब्जर्व करके यू कैन डू इट. So I would say to people that if you ever require dialect for any language, I can be of help, because I didn't know proper English and I was doing a play and everybody said don't do it in English, do it in Hindi, and I did it, and uh, and that was through Google. I had and it was an American accent.
oh wow
Yeah. So it's a very easy trick for people like अगर इंग्लिश में कुछ करना है तो गूगल पे इंग्लिश और अमेरिकन और यूके एक्सेंट लिख के आता है,
हाँ
बट
हाँ इजी
वो
टू
सुन
गूगल
सकते
है
हैं. Listen to it many times. If anybody has to prepare for any accent, get someone to record it and listen to it, because as actors we are someone who can deliver exactly like
करेक्ट
somebody else has
या
delivered, और वही तो है वो वर्ड, जैसे आपको लाइंस याद करना है
हाँ
वैसे ही आपको डायलेक्ट याद करना है.
जी शायद ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस लगेगी और कुछ नहीं तो
प्रैक्टिस तो करना ही पड़ेगा, मतलब ये काम ही ऐसा है
हाँ
कि देयर इज नो लिमिट टू द प्रैक्टिस.
ट्रू
आई होप आई गेट देयर समडे.
you will you mentioned this about actors emotionality and language and it's something I've thought of very often कि लैंग्वेज एंड इमोशन का जो कनेक्शन है वो बहुत वियर्ड सा है. आई मतलब मुझे एक्सप्लेन करना तो नहीं आता, मैंने इतना नहीं पढ़ा, उतनी पढ़ाई नहीं की लिंग्विस्टिक्स के ऊपर, बट एटलीस्ट आई अंडरस्टैंड कि जैसे मैं अंग्रेजी गाने सुनती हूँ और हिंदी गाने सुनती हूँ, मुझे पता है देयर आर डिफरेंट इमोशंस दैट गेट ट्रिगर्ड बिकॉज ऑफ ईच ऑफ दीज सॉन्ग्स एंड आई थिंक इट हैज अ लॉट टू डू विथ लैंग्वेज, मे बी म्यूजिक इंस्ट्रूमेंट बैकग्राउंड आई डोंट नो, बट आई थिंक इट हैज टू डू विथ लैंग्वेज. You also mentioned how actor, like for example, when you were doing that first play in English, when you had to use Google as a support,
या
did that change any emotionality for you? It's a joke, होता है ना कि किस भाषा में सोचते हो, but as a process, did that affect, does language affect your process, and have you seen it affect the process of the actors you worked with and, beside or as a coach?
obviously if you're not comfortable in a language, it will be difficult to perform.
हाँ
So the lines have to be so clear, like subconscious में चला जाना चाहिए.
हाँ
तो जैसे like how some prayer that we have,
yeah
Gayatri mantra or something, it's there.
yeah it's just there.
So I, if you give me a script in English, and like in Bombay we speak English so much, and even now we are speaking English.
Exactly.
But still, if you give me a script in English, it would take me time, not because I don't understand it,
Yeah.
but the nuances of Hindi are like ingrained in me,
Yes.
subconscious.
Yes.
Not so for English.
I feel the same.
कि अभी एक वो मोनोलॉग है, ये हैमलेट का है,
Hmm.
वो मैं कब कितनी बार कर चुका हूँ, तो भी मुझे उसमें हमेशा कुछ डिस्कवर होता है और मुझे लगता है ये अगर हिंदी में होता
Hmm.
तो ये और बेहतर कर पाता.
अब ऐसे मेंटल ट्रांसलेशन करते हैं?
नहीं 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 करता हूँ.
नहीं.
बात है कि एक्टिंग और आर्ट जो है और लैंग्वेज जो है ये सबकॉन्शियस है ना.
हाँ.
Unless and until the language gets into your subconscious, you will not be able to use it
Correct.
that way.
Yeah.
स्पेनिश का कोर्स करके सीख लो,
Absolutely.
और जो असली में स्पेनिश बोलता है डिफरेंस है.
Absolutely.
तो वो एक चीज है, ये बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस है और वो हमेशा ही होगा. तो अगर आप कोई ऐसा लैंग्वेज कर रहे हैं जो आपको नहीं आता है, इट विल बी एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट, इट विल टेक अवे फ्रॉम योर परफॉर्मेंस.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what. Emotion wise, it will take away from
from
your performance,
from
and only if you work hard before.
yeah.
Like a lot of actors prepare uh, 6 महीना. Uh, like Amir sir told us about Tangan Cave.
Hmm.
He prepared for like I don't know
Yeah.
6 months and uh, कि वो डायलॉग उनको पूरा बैठ जाता है.
हाँ.
वो डायलेक्ट वगैरह जो भी है वो बैठ जाता
हाँ.
है. वो लेवल लाना पड़ेगा. सो दैट यू डोंट थिंक अबाउट दैट डायलेक्ट और ये क्या है. क्योंकि अगर आप 4 बार सेशन करोगे और घर जाओगे और फिर दूसरे शूट पे चले जाओगे या नहीं सोचोगे उसके बारे में, यू विल फॉरगेट अबाउट इट.
करेक्ट.
जब आप शूट पे आओगे नहीं हो पाएगा. बट इफ यू गिव टाइम फॉर इट, एंड इकोनॉमिकली कितना पॉसिबल है मालूम नहीं,
हाँ.
पर it has to get into any new thing has to get into your subconscious.
Yeah.
Conscious से आर्ट नहीं हो सकता.
Oh, that is such a powerful line. Do you think ये language का जो barrier है almost, to between true creativity and performed creativity for the sake of distinguishing is also affecting scripts in any way? It's just a sense. जैसे we work and I read a lot of Indian literature in English, translated, and also I'm trying to read more in Gujarati, Hindi. तो मुझे लगता है जो इंग्लिश की किताबें, स्पेशली अर्बन इंग्लिश की किताबें ना, उसमें एक थोड़ा कुछ तो लैकिंग होता है. बिकॉज वो डिस्टिंक्टनेस ऑफ वॉइस नहीं होता, बिकॉज हम इंग्लिश को इतना सबकॉन्शियस में उतार शायद नहीं पाए हैं एज अ कंट्री ओनली, और मे बी ओनली इन पॉकेट्स, प्रिविलेज पॉकेट्स में इंग्लिश हैज बिकम सो मच अ पार्ट ऑफ द सबकॉन्शियस. बट आई फेल्ट की कैरेक्टर इज वेरी लैकिंग इन कैरेक्टर ऑफ मतलब यूनिकनेस, कि भाषा से ही पता चल जाए. द वे लैंग्वेज इज स्पोकन, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड विच कैरेक्टर इज टॉकिंग. In the film scripts we read for our screenwriting club, which are from US, that uniqueness is very evident. India में जो मैंने 2-3 scripts ही पढ़ी हैं, that uniqueness is kind of diluted. But have you experienced that? Do you think that is something of a concern, or is just part for the part and parcel of dealing with multilingual uh, people and psyches?
So every place has a voice personally.
True.
So if you are writing in English from Indore and you are not able to get the वो flavor
Hmm.
in the book, वो जनरली फील हो रहा है कि
हाँ.
अजमेर का और इंदौर का और भोपाल का और पटना का जो इंग्लिश में लिखा हुआ है सब बराबर लग रहा है.
हाँ.
ये आप कह रहे हैं.
हाँ. और उसमें भी हर कैरेक्टर सेम ही बोलता है.
हाँ, क्योंकि ये इसलिए है क्योंकि वो लोग इंग्लिश में नहीं बोलते ना.
वही तो एक
तो
एग्जैक्टली
इट हैज टू बी इन अ वे लाइक इवन इन अर्बन बुक्स. लेकिन बॉम्बे और दिल्ली के जो बुक्स होते हैं उसमें भी वो डिस्टिंक्ट
नहीं होता, नहीं होता.
जो वो डिस्टिंक्ट वॉइस मुझे 2-3 राइटर्स के बुक में मिला है.
नेम एग्जांपल.
आर के नारायण,
हाँ, उनका तो
मालगुडी
हाँ.
डिस्टिंक्ट है.
बहुत अलग.
सबका अलग है. वो इंग्लिश में लिखा हुआ है.
हाँ.
रस्किन बॉन्ड के बुक्स.
हाँ, उनका तो ही है.
तो वो है, वो कुछ लोग लेके आ जाते हैं.
हाँ.
इवन सुधा मूर्ति की जो वो बुक्स थी ना, स्टोरीज,
हाँ.
उसमें भी है.
अच्छा, वो उतनी नहीं पढ़ी उनकी.
हाँ, तो वो डिपेंड करता है कि अपना वो फ्लेवर लेके वो लिख रहे हैं क्या.
एग्जैक्टली.
तो ही हो सकता है.
हाँ, और इसमें प्रॉपर इंग्लिश यू कैन नॉट स्टिक टू. आई फील
हाँ.
यू हैव टू मेल्ड एंड मोल्ड इट अ लिटिल
यू
बिट.
हैव टू डू इट इन अ वे, बिकॉज जो पीजी वुडाउस की राइटिंग है वो मोर और लेस आप वो मालगुडी डेज से वो मैच करते हैं लोग के उस तरीके का.
हाँ, वही वर्ल्ड बिल्डिंग जो है. हाँ. हाँ.
लेकिन वो बहुत डिस्टिंक्ट है, ये अलग है, तो वो अलग तो होना ही चाहिए.
करेक्ट. एग्जैक्टली.
अब वो अपने लैंग्वेज में अगर आप
हाँ.
पढ़ते हो, जो हिंदी में पढ़ते हो, प्रेमचंद की बुक्स पढ़ते हो, या जो आज कल जो कहानियां लिखी जा रही हैं, तो हिंदी में अगर राइटर लिख रहा है, सोच रहा है, तो वो वर्क कर जाता है.
एग्जैक्टली.
तो
वही मेरा
मैं भी कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि आई एम
हाँ
ट्राइंग टू राइट अ नॉवल, तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ हिंदी में लिखूं कि इंग्लिश में लिखूं, तो
हिंदी में
मैं
लिख,
बड़ा कंफ्यूज।
मैं ट्रांसलेट करवा
इंग्लिश
दूंगी,
में,
मैं करवा दूंगी, आप हिंदी
मैं
में
हिंदी में
लिखिए।
लिखूं, ठीक है, ओके, थैंक यू।
जस्ट फॉर वैरायटी। नहीं, आई एम श्योर विथ यू, यू नो, नोइंग योर अप्रोच, दोनों में ही आपका उतना ही यूनिकनेस आएगा। यू विल डू इट द होल रिसर्च। एक थैंक यू गुड बाय में अगर आपने यू नो इफ यू हैव गॉन टू दैट डेप्थ्स, आई कंप्लीटली एग्री। जस्ट टू रैप अप फाइनल में, you mentioned R.K. Narayan, Sudhamurti, but in general, एक तो reading में who have been your influences? Even reading नहीं, and I should speak to you more largely creative field में, whether be it acting, whether be it reading, dialogues, who have been the kind of key forces? होता है ना, जो एक दो चीज जो पढ़ ली एक टाइम पे वो एक कैटलिस्ट बन जाती है, इससे एक जर्नी अलग हो जाती है, खुद की क्रिएटिव जर्नी। ऐसे ऐसे कोई राइटर्स, ऑथर्स, एक्टर्स रहे हैं आपके लाइफ में?
आ, बचपन में मैं ऑब्वियसली माधुरी डेज
हाँ वो तो,
वो पढ़ता था, आर के नारायण, तो उनकी सारी बुक्स पढ़ ली थी,
वाह।
मतलब। और प्रेमचंद पढ़ता था, तो आर के नारायण का बहुत इम्पैक्ट है। और प्रेमचंद का भी, कि मुंशी जी की जो कहानियां हैं या जो नॉवेल्स हैं, मुझे याद है कि पहली कहानी जो मैंने वो नॉवेल पढ़ी थी हिंदी में, फिफ्थ सिक्स स्टैंडर्ड में पढ़ी थी। अ, उसका नाम अभी है, पता नहीं क्यों नहीं याद आ रहा है। पर उसमें बेसिकली एक लड़की होती है जिसकी शादी हो जाती है बहुत कम उम्र में, और फिर वहाँ पे जो बेटा होता है, अ, वो उसके उम्र का होता है।
ओह,
हाँ, तो समथिंग लाइक दैट,
वेरी
एंड
इंटरेस्टिंग।
द गाय
मैंने नहीं पढ़ी है
एंड द
यार।
हस्बैंड डाउट्स कि कुछ है।
अच्छा।
वो बच्चा जो रहता है, जो लड़का होता है, ही सीज हर एज अ मदर, एंड वो उसकी भी मैं सोच कैसे लिया उस आदमी ने वैसा,
हाँ।
वो उसमें मर जाता
ओह,
है।
स्पॉइलर अलर्ट।
हाँ, पर इतना ही,
मजाक कर।
हाँ, नाम ही नहीं पता है। तो अब बेसिकली वो जो इम्पैक्ट है ना,
हाँ
कि अच्छा ये वर्ल्ड है, ये है वो, तो वर्ल्ड बिल्डिंग बहुत मिलता है।
हाँ
और एज अ एक्टर मुझे लगता है कि हम जितना पढ़ेंगे उतने अलग अलग वर्ड्स मिलेंगे।
हाँ,
कि शॉर्ट स्टोरीज हैं, तो हम जितनी ज्यादा शॉर्ट स्टोरीज पढ़ेंगे कैरेक्टर्स मिलेंगे, क्योंकि जब कैरेक्टर प्रिपेयर करने बैठते हैं ना, तो हमें ये पता होना चाहिए कि वो कौन है, क्या
एग्जैक्टली।
है, कहाँ पे रहता है,
अभी भी पढ़ते हैं उतने अब?
अब मैं पढ़ते रहता हूँ।
हाँ,
मैं तो
क्या
शॉर्ट
क्या?
स्टोरीज तो पढ़ता ही रहता हूँ।
हाँ।
तो जैसे कोई भी मैगजीन उठा लूंगा, कुछ भी कर लूंगा, मेरे पास बहुत सारी किताबें पढ़ी हुई हैं, तो कुछ भी पढ़ते रहता हूँ। और कुछ कहानियां रिपीट पे सुनते रहता हूँ। अ, जैसे टू टेक सिंह है, तो नसीर
वो तो
साहब ने
बहुत
बोल,
सुंदर, हाँ।
तो वो सुनता हूँ। या उस तरीके से यूट्यूब पे आजकल बहुत कुछ है।
बहुत कुछ है।
मैं जब एक्टिंग सीख रहा था, तो यूट्यूब से बहुत कुछ सीखा मैंने, बहुत सारे इंटरव्यूज देखे। और एक्टिंग में इन्फ्लुएंस तो और नाम तो बहुत सारे हैं, लेकिन नसीर साहब का ही आता है।
हम्म।
कि जो जिस तरीके की परफॉर्मेंसेस नसीर सर करते थे, तो मुझे लगता था ये इतना रियल है ये।
हाँ।
और उतना हार्ड वर्किंग तो नहीं हूँ मैं, कि- पर होपफुली, क्योंकि मैंने उनके साथ थिएटर भी किया, मैंने देखा उनको अप क्लोज, तो आई नो हिज वर्क कल्चर, द अमाउंट
करेक्ट।
ऑफ हार्ड वर्क ही डज, एंड आई होप समडे आई ऑल्सो स्टार्ट वर्किंग हार्ड, एंड that's the hope. Everything is fine. Just that push, and वो जो zeal है ना, ये आर्ट में मुझे लगता है कि फोर्स करके करना और अपने आप जो होता है,
हम्म।
आई एम वेटिंग फॉर दैट thing where I start running and I start doing that. Running मतलब in terms of in my roles and
या,
everything. क्योंकि जब वो काम मिलता है तो मैं बहुत अच्छे से करता हूँ, बहुत मेहनत करता हूँ। लेकिन जब काम नहीं मिलता है तब हम क्या करते हैं,
हाँ, दैट मैटर।
तो उस पे मैं अभी भी स्ट्रगल कर रहा हूँ, एंड आई वुड say that to every artist all around. I'm with you. I know it is difficult. I even I told this to Nasir sir once, and I said that Sir, I love acting and I want to do this so much. And thank you for giving me this play. And I have worked so hard in this and I enjoyed every minute of it. But when I don't have work, I just hope I can keep this up. And he said, yeah, I understand. So if he understands, so everybody will understand.
Yeah.
So just when we don't have the real work, something that pays us, and then we do our work, that's the beauty of art. And I hope to reach there.
Speaking of, and you will, I'm sure. Speaking of that, do you want to talk about anything you're working on next?
Uh, Next,
Upcoming
upcoming,
projects.
there's this friend of mine, James Moran. He's from, I guess, Washington DC में है तो यहाँ पे आया था और हमारी दोस्ती हुई थी सो मेरा पहला प्ले उसका ही लिखा हुआ था A Chick Named Julia. So he has written Amnesia Chronicles, like uh, 4-5 plays हैं. So I'm working on that.
On adapting them?
No, I'll
On
just do it.
performing them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So उस पे काम कर रहा हूँ. उसमें 3-4 बड़े कमाल के कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं.
Very cool.
Um, about there is this one where uh, one a man is traveling to Mars and he does not remember anything.
Oh, wow.
उसका नाम है
Scary.
Moons of Neptune और he's been told few things there. बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है जब होगा तो बताऊँ. और एक एक्टर्स ओनली है तो उसमें एक पैंडेमिक हो गया है जिसमें कि सब कुछ भूल गए हैं लोग, और उनको सांस लेना भी भूल गए तो वो सब मर गए. जिनकी मेमोरी अच्छी है जैसे कि एक्टर्स की मेमोरी कहते हैं कि बहुत अच्छी होती है तो वो फिर बचे हुए हैं.
लगता है इंडियन एजुकेशन तो हमारी मेमोरी को सॉल्व कर ही देता है और कुछ सॉल्व करे ना करे.
So I'm really excited for that.
Amazing. I think that's it for now. I could keep asking you questions and about your work and about general art and creativity, but we got to put a stop somewhere. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Fascinating as always. Every time I talk to you, मुझे लगता है कुछ ना कुछ नया मैं सोचती हूँ, कुछ ना कुछ नया approach रहता है. I feel you. जब पेड काम नहीं होता तो how you work, I think we gotta hustle, but करेंगे, कर लेंगे, कर ही लेंगे राता. But thank you so much, Sonu. Such a pleasure.
Thank you, Prakriti. It was a great interview.
Thank you.
And I really enjoyed talking, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
See y'all.